won't the police say anything? We have a right to know the truth.
The last part of the temple is missing. The late Mr. Bromsby's collection. Thanks to the information I obtained at the hospital, I can now deduce where Albeit is hiding. We know that Albeit paid a visit to an opium den, a crowded market, and a circus. He also purchased some Chinese tobacco. Let's find a place in London where all four elements are close together. Now we need to find a street name ending in OOK. Here it is, 21D Brook Street. Watson, I believe we found Albeit's flat.
Do you hear that? Quick, we have to open this door.
The door's too strong and the lock is too solid to break with bare hands.
Please help! No! Please help! Please help!
Those curtains could block the attacker's view once they're closed. I need something sharp to cut those ropes. If I cut those ropes, the curtains will fall and block the attacker's view. This table could serve as cover. Watson, I'll try to reach those curtains to close them. Cover me. Watson, I'll try to reach those curtains to close them. Cover me. Watson, cover me! Locked. Watson, come here. He's behind the screen. Our assailant escaped using this rope.
No! Don't kill me!
Calm down. It's over now. It's gone.
You? Oh. But why are you here? You're not doctors, are you?
No. Well, you're half right. Shall we remove these masks? Your true name is Albeit, is it not? You were a member at Charles Yellingham's club.
Yes, I was.
Can you tell us what happened here?
After your visit at the hospital, I quickly returned home. I was lying there on the sofa and felt an evil presence in the room.
An evil presence?
Never mind. It's probably the fever.
There's a locked door on the first floor. May I have the key for it?
All right, but there's nothing interesting inside.
Tell us about your expedition to Guatemala 14 years ago.
It was in my former life.
What really happened there? You were said to have died.
I was ill with a terrible fever. I asked them to leave me there. I can't remember how. I only have flashes of memory, but by some miracle I survived. I left an eye and one arm behind. It took me time, but at last I managed to return to London.
Why do you use a false name?
That expedition signalled the end of my career and my very life as I'd known it. I changed my name and my address. Now I'm weak and useless and alone. I'm a walking dead man.
Not for long.
Perhaps this was it. It was my curse to fade away little by little. Tekunu man's revenge.
You are aware of Zacharias' murder, are you not?
Yes, and quite aptly I read that he was killed with a spear.
Aptly.
Well, he practiced archaeology almost as though it were a sport, seeking adrenaline. Imagine his state of adrenaline when he died, him being the prey.
And who would have been the hunter?
Tekunu man? Whoever, whatever. It'll soon be over for me at any rate. Well, thank you again for saving me.
A statue was once here. Now it's missing. The iron mounting rod is broken. The surface is damaged.
What should we do next, Holmes?
Albiet's wife and son, I presume. (1894). This model was created after the expedition to Guatemala. The interior seems well designed, but I cannot see it properly. This model forms a part of another, larger model. This bed is very small. I need to finish here first. There's a little bed in a small room. It's been used.
Well, it is for my son, Gulliver. After my official death, my wife and he left for Glasgow. Upon my return, I installed this room.
So they know about you?
My boy Gulliver visits occasionally. But I wonder, what is a life with a crippled father? They will lose me again.
Mr. Albeit, what is this?
How? It's impossible. How did you find it?
Answer me.
17 years ago, I built a model of Tekenu Man's temple. We stored it inside the club's globe before leaving for the expedition. I've no idea if it's still there. While in Guatemala, I had dreams about a missing part. A pyramid. Then, when we entered the temple, I experienced vivid visions.
Wait a minute. You entered the temple?
Well, yes, we did. And we found the pyramid from my visions. But I was too weak. I was unable to solve the mystery of its entrance. I failed there. I always wanted to understand why. So upon my return...
You rebuilt this final part according to your visions and...
Nothing. But I'm dying, and at least my son will see that I did my best to complete my life's work.
I heard that Zacharias was killed by the statue spear.
No keyhole or handle. There must be. The calendar. It was here. So Zacharias, Sir Charles, and Marley have all known about this from the beginning. This is the statuette that Bernard Marley, Sir Charles and Zacharias all shared. The calendar. It was here. So Zacharias, Sir Charles and Marley have all known about this from the beginning. Mr. Albeit. Oh, you're here with your son.
Yes, obviously.
We have to talk with you, and it involves the police.
I see. Gulliver, go across the road to Mrs. James. This is an adult conversation.
Hold on just 1 second, please.
A pygmy?
As I suspected, Albeit brought him back from Brazil. You were both slaves there and you escaped together, am I correct?
You are. We are companions through life to death. He's more like a brother to me.
It's clear enough now. You and your accomplice are guilty to the murder of Zacharias Greystoke.
They had to pay for what they did. If only I'd had the time to get all of them. But Gulliver only did what I told him.
It's for the judge to decide that. But given the nature of judges, I doubt that he'll be lenient towards a pygmy who kills an Englishman.
Father, Mr. Orson Wilde is here, and I'm going to stay with Miss Alice.
What?
Did you forget? Orson Wilde, you know, the star of American theatre. And he's visiting and staying with us. You did forget?
No, not that. I meant you wanting to stay with Miss Alice.
Yes, that's right. Miss Alice suggested it. She told me you couldn't possibly refuse.
Why don't you stay with Mrs. Hudson?
Oh, but Miss Caitlin has more in common with Miss Alice, and they get along so well.
Guess what, Mrs. Hudson? Mr. Wilde is here to study my father's character for his next play. And he won't be disappointed, will he? Father is so pig-headed.
I can't believe it. The great Sherlock Holmes standing in front of me. I'm sure that our two brains will...
Brains.
Mr. Wilde, your room.
Charming. This is such a fascinating city.
We need to talk.
I'd rather not. You're going to be angry again. Goodbye, Mr. Wilde.
Is it 5 o'clock already? I think I might go and ask Mrs. Hudson for some tea.
Wilde truly has a perfect disguise kit. Do actors really need all this? This must be grease paint. Face powder of an excellent quality. I use the same brushes for makeup.
I forgot my hat. Father?
I'm just checking,
You've got something on your face. Is it makeup?
It might be. Practicing my disguises, you know me. No, don't touch that! No, no!
Ah, Mrs. Hudson, with our tea.
Not quite. We have a visitor. However, the lady is not so much angry as perplexed.
Good day to you, gentlemen. My name is Mary Sutherland. I have come to you, Mr. Holmes, because I would give everything I have to know what has become of Mr. Hosmer Angel.
Why the haste, Miss Sutherland?
Mr. Hosmer Angel has disappeared, and my father, Mr. Winterbank, will do nothing. It makes me so angry.
Mr. Windybank is your stepfather, surely, since the name is different?
Well, indeed, I call him father, although he is barely older than myself.
And your mother is alive?
Oh, yes, although I wasn't best pleased when she married again, and so soon after father's death, and to a man so much younger than herself.
What is your connection with Mr. Hosmer Angel?
I met him at the gasfitter's ball. Mr. Winterbank did not wish for me and Mother to attend. He never did wish us to go anywhere, but this time I was quite set on it. Fortunately, he left for France upon some business, and so didn't have any say in it. And I met Mr. Angel that night. We met again after that and would take walks together. But then Father returned, and we could no longer meet.
Why was your stepfather against your going anywhere?
Well, he didn't like anything of that sort. He used to say that a woman should be happy in her own family circle.
Do you have your own income?
I do, from an inheritance. It was left to me by my Uncle Ned in Auckland.
Then you have all that you could wish for, naturally.
Well, I live at home and don't wish to be a burden to my family, so they have the use of the money.
Did Mr. Hosmer Angel make no attempt to see you?
Well, Father was going off again in a week. And Hosmer wrote and said that it would be better for us not to see each other until Father had gone. After that, he stopped writing.
Were you engaged?
Oh, yes, Mr. Holmes. Right after the first walk that we took.
Where does Mr. Angel live?
I don't know exactly. I address all of his letters to the Leadenhall Street Post Office for collection.
Is there anything else that you can tell me about Mr. Angel?
He is a very shy man. He would rather walk with me in the evening, so as to be discreet. I put a missing persons notice in last Saturday's Chronicle. Here's a copy, and a letter from him.
Ha, a love letter. Yes, I see. As I anticipated, this validates my deductions perfectly.
What deductions, Mr.
Mr. Wilde. Holmes. Tell her. A love letter? Aren't you dying to read it, Holmes?
Mr. Holmes, what do you think about the letter on the table? Do you think it might help?
This is strange. The love letter is typewritten. Hosmer Angel decided not to leave his signature. I'm waiting for the moment when your stepfather leaves once more. We had a wonderful time together, didn't we, while your father was in France? Miss Sutherland only met with Hosmer Angel while the stepfather was absent. Good quality paper, quite smooth. Fairly common ink, nothing special. Let's study this letter more closely. There are some letters with typographical defects. Miss Sutherland, do you have any other letters from Mr. Angel?
Unfortunately not. But I've brought my...
The stepfather's letter is also typewritten. I hope that you'll be an obedient girl. Take my advice. Stay at home. Miss Sutherland's stepfather's signature. The stepfather is trying to keep the daughter at home. Quite common paper with a light yellow tint. Fairly common ink, nothing special. Let's study this letter more closely. There are some letters with typographical defects. Both letters have typographical defects. They merit further attention. This letter has a defect. It's the same letter with the same defect in both instances. One more letter with a defect. Another letter match with the same defects. One more letter with a defect. Another letter match with the same defects. So, based on the specific defects, we could say that these letters were composed on the same typewriter.
What else can I tell you?
You should try to let Mr. Hosmer Angel vanish from your memory, as he has done from your life.
Then you don't think I'll see him again?
I fear not.
Then what has happened to him?
Your stepfather married your mother for her money, and also enjoyed the use of your income. But with your personal advantages, it was clear that you would not remain single for long, even with him keeping you at home. He found a crook by the name of Mr. Hosmer Angel. He was paid to make you fall in love and promise your devotion, whereupon he would disappear.
Oh, Mr. Holmes. No, I can't believe it. But we were engaged. Oh, it's horrible to think about. But thank you for all you have done, Mr. Holmes.
Holmes, you could have been more diplomatic.